Helen Ann is standing by for us in Beijing this morning. Hi, Helen Ann. Good morning to you. What do we know about this meeting?
Well, we know that it's incredibly important. She will arrive in Moscow today. We understand that they will have some closed-door meetings, dinner together tonight, and then more formal meetings tomorrow. But look, these leaders have met many times before. They are self-confessed friends, but the stakes have never been higher. And the reason for that, of course, is the context of that war in Ukraine and, crucially, what China's position on that war is. Now, China has always maintained that it is neutral in the war, that it hasn't taken either sides, that it is a peacemaker, that it's one of the only countries that could feasibly broker a peace because it's one of the only countries that hasn't provided weapons to either side, for example. The West, of course, might raise eyebrows at that because quietly behind the scenes, China has provided Russia with financing and technology and crucial diplomatic cover as well. So lots of questions about what might come out of this meeting. Certainly President Xi wants to be seen to be making inroads and achieving results as part of this. But the timing is also interesting given that arrest warrant that came down from the International Criminal Court for President Putin just last week. And these contortions that the Chinese are striking may become more difficult to justify, especially amid these scenes of friendship that we're likely to see between the two men. So I put some of those questions to a spokesperson from the Foreign Ministry here in Beijing just recently, and this is what he had to say. In the last few days, the International Criminal Court has issued an arrest warrant for President Putin. He's also been videoed walking around Mariupol, which is a Ukrainian city that's been illegally invaded and occupied, and where there's evidence of really horrific war crimes having been committed by his troops. China, of course, would say it's resolutely against things like illegal invasion and war crimes. So how can it justify the visit of President Xi going ahead this week?
It is China's consistent belief that dialogue and negotiation is the fundamental way to solve the Ukraine crisis, and that the international community should play a constructive part in the peaceful settlement of the crisis and do more things that are conducive to promoting peace talks.
Now, the spokesperson also said in answer to my question that the International Criminal Court should, quote, not politicise and should remain objective. So slight digs from a government that clearly doesn't want to recognise that arrest warrant. But it didn't go as far as it could have done. So another example, really, of this careful line that China has been treading. But remember, China gets a lot of value out of its friendship with Russia. It gets a peaceful northern border. It gets a trading partner. And crucially, it gets a like-minded ally in its increasingly tense standoff with the West. So be in no doubt, this relationship is very important to President Xi, and that closeness is exactly what the West is nervous about, and whether China moves closer to Russia will be a really sort of worrying thing for the West in terms of what might come out of this meeting.